Adventures with Purpose expressed suspicion at the way they found Kiely Rodni and her vehicle.
Reporter Room with Jessica Della Davies starts now.
Whoa. Okay, I have not been able to sleep. My mind has just been spinning. I've been taking in all of your comments and also watching Jared from Adventures with Purpose on other channels. And then I watched the Adventures with Purpose video for a third time all the way through. And we have a lot to talk about. This is not the video I had planned to shoot today, but I do think that we need to have this conversation. I think this is something that we need to talk about, and I just feel like we are putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and I want to look at this together with you. I have goosebumps. Everything I'm sharing with you today is my opinion, and opinions are not facts, so please do your own research and don't send any negativity to anyone. And this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. So please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a live stream or a video, and give this video a thumbs up. Let's get started. So after rewatching the Adventures with Purpose episode a couple of more times, I'm just thinking back to Kiely's window being rolled down and the fact that Kiely wasn't found in the back seat, but all the way in the back in what we call in America the cargo space. And if you look at the car interior photo and you see how much space there is between the top of the back seat and the roof, could she have ended up in the back by just floating back there? She wasn't in the back seat. She was all the way in the back. So how did she get there? Did she crawl back there as the car was going under? Because it would have sunk pretty fast now that we're listening to Adventures with Purpose opinion on this. Due to the weight of the engine, the car would have gone nose first, so the back would have come up. But things get even more strange, and we are going down this rabbit hole, so please stay with me. The other thing I found striking was Adventures with Purpose Nick's demeanor when he came up from seeing the car and Kiely. The expression on his face, I can show this to you. It's really, really sad. He definitely looks like he saw something nefarious. And just the way he says, she's in the back of the vehicle. She's not in the driver's seat. This sends chills up and down my spine. His face says everything. I've reached out to the Nevada Sheriff's Department asking about the tow truck assistance driver who stopped Adventures with Purpose at the Best Buy, and I have not heard back from them yet, but I will get back with you when they respond to me. And maybe they're not responding because they have an active and open investigation and they're not ready to comment just yet. So let's talk about tow truck driver, road assistance guy. We know he stopped Adventures with Purpose at the Best Buy. They did not seek him out, and he told them that he saw Kiely with another guy, and he describes the guy in detail. Now, I've shared with you before that he might have seen the news interview that Jagger and Kiely's friend gave to Fox News. And if you haven't seen this video where I'm talking about why I think he may have been describing Jagger, you'll want to see this next. So I'll link it for you in the description below. So this all needs to be considered when you're thinking about this case. However, now he's saying that after looking at his GPS, he believes he was out there on either Saturday or Sunday. And I'm talking about the Boca Reservoir when I say out there. So it's kind of sketchy, right? And he describes the couple as staying away from each other so that if one would move to the right side of the car, the other one would move to the left side of the car. And he said Kiely was asking him how to buckle the seatbelt, and they couldn't get the car to start. They thought it was a dead battery, but it turns out the car was in neutral. And it's weird, right? Were they trying to get him to put his fingerprints in the car, or were they trying to distract him from what they had in the back of the car? And this is another reason why I'm not 100% convinced that the guy that this guy is describing is Jagger, because Jagger knows a lot about cars, and I think he would know that you can't start a car in neutral. But I could be wrong. What do you guys think? So, Adventures with Purpose asks roadside assistance guy where he was, and he shows on the map that he was at the Boca Reservoir. And as the interview continues, he sounds more sure that he was at the Boca Reservoir according to his GPS on either the Saturday or the Sunday. Well, we know Kiely disappeared in the wee hours of Saturday, and her phone last pinged at 12:33 a.m. in the wee hours of Saturday morning. So how would her vehicle have ended up either later Saturday or Sunday? And how would she have ended up talking to a tow truck driver near the Boca Reservoir? We're going to talk about Sami in a few minutes, so please stay with me. Now, the AAA driver says that Kiely called him from her, quote, friend's phone, end quote. But she wouldn't have been able to get straight through to him, right? So he would have definitely have gotten the call through dispatch. And now we're learning that the company that he works for did turn over his dash cam footage, which would show the car and possibly the couple to law enforcement, and the call log. That was all turned over to law enforcement. And for me, this gives the roadside assistance guy a little more credibility than I originally gave him. Okay, so my initial response to the tow truck driver road assistance guy was that, maybe he was just some weirdo inserting himself into the case. But after listening to all of the information that's come out, it's clear that he did approach law enforcement first, and that law enforcement has his dash cam footage and the call logs from dispatch. So this puts him in a different light, because I don't know that he would have come forward like this if he wasn't trying to help with the Kiely Rodni investigation. What do you guys think? So why would a girl who is purported to be Kiely Rodni be asking the road assistance guy how to buckle her safety belt? It's weird, right? It's almost like they were trying to get the guy to put his fingerprints into the car, or trying to distract him from whatever they had maybe in the cargo bay. And is this why the two of them were moving around in kind of odd ways? He felt like their movements were strange. He thought maybe she was avoiding him, but maybe they were distracting him from what they had in the back of Kiely's vehicle. The roadside assistance guy did contact law enforcement, and I'm thinking that this is the extra footage that Adventures with Purpose has not released yet. Maybe he gave them more stuff. But things get even crazier, so stay with me because this rabbit hole is going deep. So how did the tow truck driver describe the girl? He said it was Kiely, and he describes the guy as being slimmer, wearing an SF baseball cap, in a white bro shirt, and he had hair sticking out on the sides of his baseball cap. He said the guy was under 6'3", but he would have seen the pictures of Kiely's ex-boyfriend Jagger, and as I said earlier, this could have influenced his description. So what do you guys think? So I've gone from being completely behind law enforcement to moving into a more neutral position, because I don't know what to think about the fact that now we're learning that the car was upside down in 14 feet of water, but part of the car was only in 10 feet of water. Well, you know what? Pools are 8 feet deep. So couldn't you have seen the car with snorkel gear? Let alone scuba equipment. So I'm going to talk about Sami in a moment, so please stay with me. So he also said the guy had freckles or maybe acne on both sides of his face, and that as soon as this was released, everybody just went crazy on YouTube, because it did, we're looking at the photos of Jagger and we're listening to this guy's description, and they do fit Jagger. But I am cautioning you not to jump to a conclusion, and I want to remind you that everything that I'm sharing today are opinions, and opinions are not facts. But a lot of people are thinking that this is Jagger. So I wanted to talk this over with one of my friends who's also a journalist, and she had some thoughts on this case and a really interesting theory, and I'm going to share this with you. And I want to emphasize this is just a theory. Her theory is that the reason the guy and the girl seemed kind of, squirrely to the tow truck driver is because they were trying to distract him from looking in the back of Kiely's CRV. It wasn't Kiely, in her theory, that he saw. It was probably Kiely's vehicle. So if it was Kiely's vehicle and it was a guy and another girl who just happened to be around the same age, they wouldn't have wanted tow truck driver guy to look in the back of the CRV, because that's where Kiely was, right? She was found in the cargo bay, in the very back. So if they were going to dump her, they wouldn't want to do it at Lake Prosser, because if something went on at the senior farewell party, this would shine suspicion on them. So the next morning, they're trying to figure out what to do with her, and they took her over to the Boca Reservoir in her car. But maybe they wanted to get fingerprints in the car that weren't theirs, or maybe the car wouldn't really start and they had some kind of a car problem. So they called the tow truck driver. So why was she distracting this guy with weird questions like how to buckle her safety belt? And why were they moving around the car acting suspicious if they weren't trying to distract him from looking in the back of the car? And again, this is only a theory, but what do you guys think? So now the guy and the girl have called the tow truck driver out. They cannot put Kiely and her vehicle in the Boca Reservoir, right? Because now they've been spotted near the Boca Reservoir themselves. So what do? They go back to Lake Prosser and put her in there. So now you guys have a lot of opinions, and I've been reading all of them about what you're saying. And a lot of you do agree that law enforcement be able to see and should be able to have seen between 10 and 14 feet underwater, just 55 feet offshore. Why would Jagger be telling people to filter their leads through him? Jagger said that the sheriff would like him to filter through any information before it gets to them. And by them, he's talking about the sheriff's office. It's sketchy, right? And a lot of us found it sketchy at the beginning, but then we dismissed it because we thought, well, it's a young kid. He's trying to find Kiely. Maybe when he found out she was at the lake. And I'm going to talk about Sami in a minute because I know she set off alarms with a lot of you guys. So just stay with me. So at the point that we all thought it was an accident, but not all of us, in reading your comments, a lot of you guys never thought it was an accident. We just kind of dismissed Jagger's comment on social media about filtering the tips through him. But, let's put a red flag on that one and, consider it. Now, let's look at Sami's Tahoe team-to-team meetup organization. So I'm going to share more information on Jagger in just a second, so please stay with me. In light of what we're learning, we have to look at Sami again with fresh eyes to determine if she was also trying to filter information and insert herself into this case to either help find Kiely, and maybe she really did feel bad about what happened to Kiely, but maybe her reasons are kind of sketchy. So was this Sami trying to find Kiely because she felt bad for leaving her that night? Or, like a lot of you guys thought, did she insert herself into this case because she was trying to see where law enforcement was and gather up information? Okay, let's get back to Jagger for a second. So my pushback on the whole Jagger Westfall theory is this, and my pushback to my friend, the journalist, and I respect her greatly, but Jagger knows about cars, right? His Instagram is mostly about cars. So wouldn't Jagger know that a car could not be started in neutral? Wouldn't he know enough to put the car in gear? So we need to consider the fact that maybe roadside assistance guy is not describing Jagger at all. Law enforcement is probably waiting to find out from the autopsy if there's water in Kiely's lungs or not. If there is water in her lungs, then this could all be an accident, right? However, if there's not water found in her lungs, then they will definitely be looking at foul play. So, what do you guys think? I cannot even wait to read your comments in the comment section below. I am really curious to know what you guys think about all of this. Do you think that this is just a red herring? Do you think that the tow truck driver's demeanor, and that's why I wanted to watch the video 3 times with Adventures with Purpose, I really wanted to look at his demeanor. Do you think he has credibility? And do you think the fact that he went to law enforcement first shows that he has credibility in this case. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. Please leave me a comment in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about the case. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and I will see you next time.